Have you ever wondered why some women walk into a room and instantly turn heads without saying a word, without trying, without even fitting the standard idea of beauty? There's something else at play, something deeper. It's not the clothes, it's not the face, it's energy. That invisible force that speaks before you open your mouth, before anyone even knows your name. Carl Jung once said that your inner energy carries more weight than your outer appearance. He believed people are drawn to what you embody, not just what you show. This isn't just about attraction. It's about the truth we've been kept from. The truth that your power doesn't lie in perfection, it lies in presence. So if you've ever felt invisible, overlooked, or like you're constantly trying to be enough, stick with me. Because this truth could change the way you see yourself and the way others see you. You've seen her. She walks into the room and the atmosphere shifts. She's not the tallest, not the thinnest, not the one with perfect lashes or runway clothes. But every eye, especially the ones she's not even trying to catch, turns to look. Not out of politeness, not out of curiosity, but something deeper, something primal. You know she isn't what magazines have been telling you to become. And yet, men notice her, women remember her. Why? Because it's not about what she looks like. It's about what she radiates. Maybe you've spent years chasing a version of beauty that never felt like yours. Maybe you've changed your hairstyle more times than you can count, updated your wardrobe, tried a dozen shades of lipstick, and still felt invisible. You've done everything right, and somehow, it still wasn't enough. You're not alone. You've been conditioned to believe that your worth is skin deep, that your power lies in the curve of your body, the symmetry of your face, the perfection of your polish. But real power, true magnetic presence doesn't start in the mirror. It starts in your energy. Energy isn't something mystical or unreachable. It's the language your body speaks without words. It's how you move, how you listen, how you carry the room even when you're silent. And more importantly, it's what you've been suppressing, hiding, or filtering to fit into what the world told you was acceptable. Carl Jung didn't just study behavior, he explored the unconscious forces behind it. And one of his greatest insights was this: we all have an inner archetype, a blueprint of our truest self. For women, one of the most overlooked aspects of this blueprint is the feminine archetype, not the fragile, submissive kind we've been sold, but the wild, intuitive, grounded energy that makes people lean in without knowing why. This energy doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't perform. It simply is. And when you reconnect with it, people notice even if they don't understand why. The room feels different when you're in it, not because of your heels or your hair, but because of your presence. But here's the catch. Most of us have lost touch with that energy, not because we failed, but because we were trained to forget it. As girls, we were told to be small, to be polite, to not be too loud, too emotional, too intense. Slowly, piece by piece, we started shrinking ourselves to be digestible, to be liked, to be chosen. This is where Jung's idea of the shadow comes in. Your shadow isn't the bad part of you. It's the hidden part, the pieces of your power, your truth, your desire that you were told were too much. So you buried them. And every time you did, your energy dimmed just a little. That fire in your belly? You were told it was anger, and that anger is ugly. That deep intuition? You were told it was silly or dramatic. That longing to be fully seen and fully expressed? You were told it was needy, and so you quieted yourself. You polished the surface while the soul stayed hidden. But here's the truth. That shadow holds your light. The parts you've tucked away, those are the exact parts that make you unforgettable. They're not flaws. Their power in disguise. There's a reason men can be drawn to you before they even know your name. It's not about beauty. It's not even about confidence, at least not the performative kind. It's about embodiment, about how deeply you're connected to yourself, how fully you're willing to take up emotional and energetic space. What would happen if you stopped trying to be perfect and started being real? What would shift if you stopped shrinking to fit in and started expanding to be whole? What have you been taught to hide just to feel enough? Because here's the moment you stop hiding. Here's the moment you remember. The invisible power isn't gone. It's just waiting for you to turn it back on. And once you do, nothing, absolutely nothing can dim it. Men don't fall for your mascara. They fall for your magnetism. And it's time someone finally told you that out loud. You've been led to believe attraction starts with surface polish, with perfectly winged eyeliner, smooth skin, and a curated highlight reel of femininity. But the truth? Real attraction begins long before any of that. It begins in the invisible. There's a reason you've seen women who don't fit any of the so-called beauty standards completely captivate a room. She's not the prettiest. She doesn't look like the cover of a magazine. But her presence, it lingers. You feel her even after she's left. That's energy, that's magnetism, and it's the thing no amount of contouring can replace. Carl Jung understood something that our culture often forgets. He spoke about archetypes, universal patterns of behavior, and energy that live within all of us. One of the most powerful and most misunderstood is the feminine archetype. But we're not talking about the watered-down, over-polished version that's been made palatable for mass consumption. This is the feminine that is wild, grounded, intuitive, and deeply alive. The first truth is this: masculine energy craves polarity. It doesn't seek perfection. It doesn't even understand it. It seeks something it can't control. It's drawn to what it can't predict. Masculine energy is pulled towards something that challenges it, softens it, and awakens it, and that something is the unapologetic, embodied feminine. Not the feminine that's trying to be agreeable, not the feminine that's constantly adjusting herself to be liked, but the feminine that dares to be exactly who she is without permission. You are not meant to be a mannequin. You are fire. You are the ocean, changing, deep, wild. You were never designed to be frozen in place or easy to define. Your emotional depth, your softness, your knowing, that's what electrifies the air around you. But somewhere along the way, being feminine got confused with being weak. Let's set that straight. Feminine energy isn't weakness. It's not submission. It's not passivity. It's power in a different form. It's receptive, but not empty. It's yielding, but never spineless. Think about water. It bends around obstacles, but it carves canyons. It adapts, but it wears down stone. That's what lives inside you. The reason men fall for your energy before they fall for your looks is because true feminine energy can't be faked. It's not something you put on. It's something you become when you peel back the layers of performance and return to yourself. That's where Jung's idea of individuation comes in. Individuation is the journey of becoming whole, not perfect, not polished, but whole. It's when you stop splitting off the parts of yourself that don't fit the mold and start honoring the truth of who you are. It's the moment you stop living someone else's version of ideal and come home to your own essence. And here's the wild part. When you start living from that space, you don't have to chase anyone's attention. Your energy speaks before you say a word. People feel you. They remember you. They lean in without knowing why. So ask yourself, when was the last time you let your true essence lead? Not the version of you that's trying to manage impressions. Not the version trying to say the right thing or wear the right thing or be the cool girl. I'm talking about the version that moves through the world like she knows she belongs in every room she walks into. Because you do. When you access that energy, when you stop censoring your laughter, softening your power, or hiding your emotions just to be digestible, you unlock something magnetic. You don't have to scream to be noticed. You don't have to impress to be adored. You just have to be. This isn't about dating advice. This isn't about getting someone to like you. This is about reclaiming your frequency. It's about realizing that your energy has always been the thing and you've had it all along. It was never about the mascara. It was always about the magnetism. She always did what she was told. She smiled when it was expected, kept her opinions soft, and played the role of the nice girl perfectly. Everyone liked her. No one really knew her. She fit the image of what a woman should be: polite, agreeable, never too loud, never too much. And yet, late at night, in the quiet moments, she felt invisible. Not because others ignored her, but because somewhere along the way, she had disappeared. She was living through her mask, not her magnetism. And the heartbreaking part is, she's not alone. If you've ever felt like you've done everything right and still can't figure out why something feels missing, you're not broken. You're not behind. You may just be disconnected from the most powerful part of yourself, the part you were told to bury. Carl Jung called it the shadow. But don't let the word scare you. It's not darkness in the way we've been taught to fear it. It's not evil. It's not wrong. It's simply the parts of you that were once bright, alive, and true but were labeled too much to be loved. So you tucked them away. Think about it. How many times were you told to be nicer, quieter, less emotional, less intense, just to keep the peace? How many moments did you swallow your truth just to be accepted? That raw emotion you hide, that passion you silence, that deep sensitivity you downplay. That's not weakness. That's not damage. That's your shadow. And within it lies your most magnetic energy. See, we've been trained to curate ourselves, to become palatable. But what if the version of you that scares people is actually the version they can't resist? What if the power you've tried to mute is the very thing that makes you unforgettable? The shadow isn't there to haunt you, it's there to complete you. Because without it, you're only living as half of who you really are. That's why Jung believed that integrating your shadow, bringing those hidden parts back into your light, is essential to becoming whole. And it's not just a nice idea, it's a real practical shift that changes how you move through the world. So how do you begin? It starts with recognition. You have to name what you've been running from. Maybe it's your anger. Maybe it's your ambition. Maybe it's your need for depth, for chaos, for passion. Whatever it is, step one is to see it not as a flaw, but as a forgotten power. Next comes acceptance. This part is where most people get stuck, because it's easy to shame what you were once shamed for. But integration doesn't happen through judgment. You have to listen to these parts without trying to silence or fix them. That might mean letting yourself feel the full weight of your emotions without apologizing, or owning your desires without watering them down. And finally, integration. The moment where you let those shadow parts become a part of your energy stream. You don't push them down. You don't perform around them. You own them. You let your fire be present, your edges be seen, your soul be full, not just in private, but in public. That's the energy people feel when they say you're different. That's the weight in your presence. That's what turns heads without needing to speak. Because once you stop abandoning parts of yourself, your energy becomes whole. And whole energy is irresistible. You're not here to be one-dimensional. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to be you, fully, freely, and without apology. So ask yourself, honestly, what part of you have you been hiding to be accepted? What have you exiled from your personality in order to be approved of? And what if reclaiming those very pieces is the doorway back to your most alive, magnetic self? The answers aren't out there. They've been in you the whole time, waiting for you to stop being good and start being real. This is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. And once you do that, your energy stops whispering. It begins to roar. The second truth is this: real attraction isn't earned. It's awakened. Let that settle. You don't have to hustle to be magnetic. You don't have to prove you're worthy of love, of attention, of being chosen. That need to do something to be desired, it's a lie you've been fed since you were young. And maybe, without even knowing it, you've been performing ever since. So ask yourself, honestly, are you performing or are you present? Because there's a difference, and people can feel it. Men can feel it. The woman who's performing tries hard to curate herself. Every outfit, every word, every move is measured. She's trying to earn connection, constantly calculating her next step, afraid of getting it wrong. Her energy may be pretty, but it's not felt, because she's not fully there. Then there's the woman who is present. She walks into a room and breathes differently. She's not rushing. She's not analyzing every glance. She's tuned into herself. She doesn't need to speak loudly or take up extra space, because her presence is enough. Her stillness carries weight. Her gaze holds depth. And people feel it, without knowing why. The difference isn't in what she's wearing. It's not in the shade of lipstick or the brand of heels. The difference is energetic. She's not seeking validation, she is validation. And the truth is, you can access that presence, not through effort, but through embodiment. One of the most direct ways to shift your energy out of performance and into power is through stillness. Not the kind that comes from freezing, but the kind that comes from rooting. That's what makes you unshakable. Meditation is one doorway. But it doesn't have to be silent or serious. You can sit, breathe, feel into your body, and simply notice what's alive inside. No fixing, no filtering, just awareness. Movement is another, but not choreographed, not rigid. We're talking free, instinctual movement, letting your body sway, shake, stretch whatever it needs to return to its natural rhythm. This reconnects you to your own current, instead of running on someone else's script. And most of all, connect with your body like it's home, not a project. Feel your breath, touch your skin, listen to your gut. These are not small things, they are everything. Because the more connected you are to your own body, the more grounded your energy becomes. And grounded energy is unforgettable. When you drop into presence, people feel it. They may not know what's different, but they'll sense it. Your voice carries more warmth. Your laughter has weight. Your silence, even, becomes magnetic. So here's the question: what would happen if you stopped trying to prove your worth and just started embodying it? Not as an idea, not as a mindset, but as a way of being. What if your only job was to show up as your whole, present, alive self and let that be enough? Because it is enough. And somewhere deep down, you've always known that. You don't need a louder voice. You need a deeper connection with yourself. You don't need a new routine. You need a new relationship with your energy. Stop performing. Start being. Because being fully, truthfully, without apology, is your most irresistible state. They fall for your energy. They stay for your essence. That's not just a nice phrase, it's the truth most women have never been told. You were never meant to fight for attention. You were never meant to edit yourself just to be worthy of being seen. You were born with a presence, a current, a light that doesn't need explaining. The problem is, the world taught you to forget it. And somewhere along the way, you believed you had to earn what was already yours. Carl Jung called it individuation, the process of becoming your true self. Not the self shaped by approval or fear, not the version you created just to survive, but the self that existed before the performance, before the pressure, before the world got loud. This whole journey we've walked through together, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before you were told who to be. And that remembering, that's the awakening. That's when your energy starts to return to your body. That's when your shadow becomes your strength. That's when your feminine stops being a costume and starts becoming your nature. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need another script to follow, another tip to try, another checklist to prove you're enough. What you need is a homecoming to the version of you that never needed to be tamed. The woman who feels deeply, speaks truthfully, moves freely. The one who knows when to be still and when to roar. The one who lets herself feel without apology and love without fear. That's the woman who turns heads not because of what she looks like, but because of what she carries. It's not your lips or lashes that make you unforgettable. It's your presence, your stillness, your boldness, your ability to hold yourself without needing to be held together. That's what they fall for. That's what they stay for. So the next time you catch yourself trying to be liked, trying to be palatable, trying to perform, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, am I shrinking or am I returning? And if the answer is shrinking, know that you can choose something different right here, right now. You can stop chasing, stop pretending, stop breaking yourself down into pieces just to be digestible. You are not here to be easy to explain. You are here to be felt. Let them feel you. Let them feel the fullness of your energy, the edge in your truth, the softness in your presence. Let them feel the parts of you you used to hide and watch what happens. The woman you are when no one's watching, she is the key. She is the fire. She is the magnet. She is the one they've been waiting for, and more importantly, she's the one you've been waiting for. So here's what I want you to do. Share this with a woman who needs to hear the truth, someone who's been dimming her own light without even realizing it. Leave a comment below. What part of you are you reclaiming today? What truth are you finally ready to stop apologizing for? And if you're ready to stop performing and start becoming, subscribe, because this journey doesn't end here. It deepens, and you don't have to walk it alone. Your inner light has always been the answer. Now, it's time to let it lead.